Good morning, everybody. May I request to please take the seats. We'll be starting in next 2 minutes. थोड़ा थोड़ा हाँ? May I request Bipin sir, please take a seat. हाँ हाँ नहीं पहले तो उधर हॉल में बैठे तो So there is a request to everyone. Please have a seat. There are only two announcement and instruction we want to give. The first one is please keep your mobiles on a silent mode. Mobiles on silent. Yeah, and there is another announcement which you all have to listen very carefully. आज का दिन celebration का है तो तालियां रुकनी नहीं चाहिए. Okay? So what we are going to do, meanwhile we'll start. When I raise this hand, you have to start clapping. And when I raise this hand, you have to stop. Okay? So let's do it. Okay. हाँ, मैं देख रहा हूँ बराबर लेफ्ट राइट का कोऑर्डिनेशन हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. So we are starting in just 5 minutes. Still guests are arriving, so we'll start in another 5 minutes. I hope online members are also joining. Okay. Yeah. So till the guests are arriving, and today's day is about MLD sir. So what we are going to have a very interesting thing before we actually start the function with the prayer. Okay. Let's see how many of us knows MLD sir. So okay. So I'm going to have quiz. Okay. So all those who are going to answer right, okay, they know they have to stand. Okay, or otherwise what we can do in a reverse way. Please stand everyone, and those who knows answer will stand and rest of them will sit. Okay, are you ready? Okay, the first very simple thing, simple question. What is the full name of Dr. M.L. Dhavale sir? Yes, please give a big round. Okay. So I think this was very easy. So we'll go to the next one. And I think this, sir will also answer. So what was the turning point when MLD sir turned to homeopathy? Whether it was during his MBBS period, whether during his MD period, or whether he had infection. And oh, that's great. That's great. So the last one, and before then we'll start with the formal one. What was the central theme of ICR symposium held in 1978? Okay, integrated patient care, Hahnemannian principle, integrated evolutionary Hahnemannian totality, homeopathic education standards. Scratch your brain now. All four? No. Theme was only one. Okay, somebody saying fourth, that is homeopathic education standard, and somebody saying third, which is integrated evolutionary Hahnemannian totality. Third one, I think we have to give a big round of applause to Kishore Mehta sir because he has answered the most. Okay. Madam, okay. So we'll start with the formal function. And today's mark a very special occasion as we are launching a much anticipated second part of our book series on homeopathy titled Principle and Practice of Homeopathy Part 2 Advancing Frontier. On behalf of Dr. ML Memorial Organization, we warmly welcome everyone to this celebration. This marks as a tribute to Dr. Hahnemann because we are also celebrating Hahnemann Day. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Pinakin Trivedi with us as our chief guest. He is a chairman of in-charge chairman of National Commission of Homeopathy and President, Board of Ethics and Registration under Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. We sincerely appreciate him taking the time out in his busy Sunday to join us. Please welcome, sir. We also extend a warm welcome to our own Dr. Hitesh Purohit, who serves as a part-time member of a National Commission of Homeopathy. Additionally, we would like to recognize the presence of Dr. Barwalia sir, Dr. Kishore Mehta sir, Dr. Jawar Shah, and many other students of MLD sir.
We would also like to welcome the family members of Dr. Kumar, his wife, Dr. Smita Dhavale, his sister, Mrs. Ujwala Pendse, principals of colleges, ICR students, MLDMHI students, practitioners, alumni, and well-wishers of homeopathy. We also welcome all the MLD students who are attending this program online as well. All good events need to begin with a prayer because there are many unknown factors which we need to align with. So please rise for the prayers. We invite Dr. Sujata Goda, Dr. Bhargavi, Dr. Sneha, and Dr. Sarika to sing for us.
हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन विजय करे, दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना, भेदभाव अपने दिल से साफ कर सके, दोस्तों से भूल हो तो माफ कर सके, झूठ से बचे रहे सच कदम भरे, दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे, हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मुश्किलें पड़े तो हम पे इतना कर्म कर, साथ दे जो धर्म का, चले तो धर्म पर, खुद पे हौसला रहे, बदी से ना डरे, दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे, हमको मन की शक्ति देना।
We invite our dignitaries, Dr. Pinakin Trivedi, sir, our chief guest, Dr. Hitesh Purohit, Dr. Barwalia, Dr. Jawahar Shah, Dr. Smita Dhavale, Mrs. Ujwala Paintse, Mrs. Tiwari, to light the lamp and pay floral tributes to Dr. Hahnemann, Dr. MLD, Dr. NL Tiwari and Dr. LD Dhavale. Yeah, there'll be a symbolic lighting of the lamp. Please go ahead for the work. We invite Dr. Sujata and team to recite the, to recite the Saraswati Mandana. Yeah.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषार हार धवला, या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता, या वीणा वरदण्ड मण्डित करा, या श्वेत पद्मासना, या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता, सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती, निःशेष जाड्यापहा।
Thank you, Sujata and team. You created a lovely atmosphere.
We'll have one photograph. So today we are excited to share our plans for a special event because it's a celebration celebration of release of highly anticipated and remarkable book titled Principles of Homeopathy and Practice Part 2, Advancing Frontier. This event isn't just about a launching a book, but it is about starting a lasting legacy of knowledge and learning.
We have three main events: a panel discussion, which will shortly start, followed by a documentary of the book and the release of the book, and also a release of the college magazine.
So before we move to our next event, I just want to remind everyone present in the hall and who are joined on online, please don't forget to order book today, because there is an offer of a pre-launch. That means pre-launch, it is till 12 o'clock, but we will request to make it till today, by the end of the day. There is a 20% discount on this book, so please order today itself. Don't forget. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I forgot. Okay. It is often said that the authors are the builders of imagination. And who better to exemplify this than MLD sir, who envisaged this 40 years ago. MLD sir holds a special place in our hearts. While there are only few people who have left now who has actually got a chance to work with him directly. But his teaching and values continues to inspire us, guide us, and they are passed on to the next generation.
Today we have excellent panelists who have been either working with him or following his teaching. And to conduct the panel discussion, we invite Dr. Anup Nigvekar as the moderator of the panel discussion. Dr. Anup joined ICR in 1987, and he is the member of the governing body of the NIH. He is the member of the CCRH, and also the Consortium of Accredited Healthcare Organization of the Ayush Committee. He is also a member of the QCI, and we all know his contribution in NABH and NABCB. The subject expert in repertory, NCH, and he is the Honorary Secretary, MLD Trust, and Director Projects, MLDT. He's been with us since 1987, and he's still there with us. Welcome, Anup. Sorry, Dr. Anup.
You know, the last but one line is important. You know, he's still there with us. You know, the laughter around suggests. Yeah, good morning to all of you. Very pleasant time and a pleasant morning. Thank you, Pinakin Bhai, for arriving over here. We are graced by your presence. Thank you all dignitaries for sitting with us. You know, I have been put on an arduous task of taking us through to a journey which is very, very interesting and exciting for me. You know, we are here to look upon a legacy that is being transferred from one generation to another. You know, it's an experience that most of us are likely to witness, and most of us are going to carry through where we all started and where we all are today and where we are likely to move on few years down the line. You know, this is something that we are here to witness. You know, all of you may not be aware of this location, but this was the location where Homeopathic Postgraduate Association was started by late Dr. L.D. Dhavale in 1932. You know, all the senior citizens sitting over here have climbed these stairs and gone to the first floor to learn. And we have extremely nostalgic memories of not only learning there, but even eating the dosa that is being served on the streets over there. You know, from there, what emerged was a logo that lives with all of us. You know, the logo centrally talks of two lamps that are present, you know, which connote the concept of Guru Shishya Parampara that was implemented. and is being tried to be implemented as a continued legacy that we are all in. The illumination of the two lights when they connect together is represented by the spectrum, which just tries to convey the volume of knowledge that can get generated and that can be spread across. You know, ML Dhavale brought in two novel concepts. One concept was the logo, the tagline of Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. You know, it was a very interesting phenomena for me in my life, in my journey, to try to trace back from where did he identify this phrase at all. And that took me to Bhagavad Gita. And then we were somewhere down the line able to connect all that he wrote in the symposium volume, went on elaborating on Bhagavad Gita, and trying to bring that to homeopathy also got conjoined. Second thing that he brought to our orientation is the care concept. Concept of care that all of us have been trying to pursue and trying to bring about to fruition with the help of our efforts to treat patients. So there's a concept of care of patients. There's a concept of care of learners. You know, we still believe and we strongly believe that, you know, nurturing talent is something that has to be done from the inceptions of the child's entry to the institution. And therefore, the learner care, and as a consequence of these two interactions, there was a substantial knowledge that gets built. And this is the knowledge that needs to be nurtured. This nurturing of knowledge was done by him through the standardized case record that today stands in its 9th edition. The most significant component that I have encircled on the slide and on the case record is the concept of physician and an observer. Friends, this is how the ideas were converted, where a person starts as an observer, engages with the physician who treats the patient, then switches the chairs and then becomes the patient, a physician who is being observed for a performance. And as on today, the National Commission looks upon this as entrustable professional activities. So this is something that gets cultivated through the sheer engagement of the guru and the shishya. You know, this is a very large piece of tool, 104 pages, very few of them engage, but this is a tool that has brought in a concept of scientific documentation that ensures that you are able to document what you are doing, and you are able to document in a way which is standardized. And standardization is the key word of today. You can't say mere wala lal ya mere wala safed. There has to be some kind of standardization if science has to evolve. Building on that, you can go on building competencies. So this SCR was looked upon as a tool where competencies could be built, and they are built even today. And as I marched on my journey of quality systems management across India, you know, I realized that this becomes an exceptionally great tool for demonstrating quality of care even at the bedside. You know, this capturing of knowledge, you know, he wrote so many books. You know, even today we are struggling to understand the language, the content, and the concept that he has written. The next generation attempted to write more books, which were thought to be more simpler, more readable, more understandable. And the few smiles that I see on the people who are sitting over here, I think my thoughts are appreciated that these people have done a great job. This is next effort that comes to you when the book gets launched today. So things will be rather more simplified, and you will be more engaged to this concept of SCR system. This launch for us is an attempt to share what people experienced of MLD when he have engaged with him, and what people have learned from his writings. So the panel that we have has this spectrum of people who are there with us. You know, there are people who have looked upon him as their direct guru, and who have become gurus of the shishyas who have come to them seeking knowledge. These shishyas who are there with us today, whom you all will witness live, they have attempted in their own way to percolate down that knowledge and experience. And they, in their own way, have advanced those frontiers much far and wide. When they come along, we would you'll all love to listen to them. I invite Kishore Mehta sir to please come on the stage. The first panelist, he has been practicing homeopathy for 40 years, founding director of HERI, ex-director PG of Sonajirao Kshirsagar, author of multiple books. He's been awarded with Teacher of Teachers Award and also Lifetime Achievement Award by MLDMHI. So no less credential that this sir carries. I invite Dr. Praful Barwalia sir. He was my guru directly. He is the trustee of Dhavale Memorial Trust. He is a founding chairman and trustee of M.B. Barwalia Foundation, which runs an amazing activity called as Spandan Holistic Institute for Applied Homeopathy. He has received innumerable of awards. When I was trying to squeeze them down on the slide content limitation prevented me from bringing that to the slide. So sir, please forgive me for not mentioning all that you have achieved. I invite Dr. Anand Kapse. He has been, to say, the man who initiated me into ICR once upon a time, because as all those who have gone to ICR may understand that you have to fill up a PAT test and an RCC, and all students are clueless of what is it seeking, and the same was the state of mind in 87, and he was the man who brought me to place. Anand currently works as our Director, Resource and Chief Mentor. He was the Director for the Dhavale Trust Hospital, Palghar, for more than 2 decades. He has been the editor of Pediatrics in Homeopathy, as well as editor for our operational manual that was created. Anand sits on Board of Studies. He is a faculty of Homeopathy. He is on the Academic Council of MUHS, and his current passion takes him to serve differently abled children through Sadicha Special School for mentally challenged children. I invite Saunil Malwania, please. He was trained by Dr. B.P. Kothari at Vadodara. He has been practicing Eklavya, staying in Rajkot, and attempting to stretch himself through his network that he has created with all of us in so many years. He is the professor and HOD of Organon at Rajkot Homeopathic Medical College. I invite Lata Devarajan. She comes all the way from Bangalore to us. She is the most recent MICR, and the face shows that she smiles after getting that also. Lata has been associated with us since time 28 years, and she has been taking the torch of ICR in Bangalore through the MLDMHI service centers that we are operating on. I invite the youngest of the lot, Dr. Nikunj Jani. He is the head and editor of JISH that is being consistently coming out since 2018. He is now my HOD in my department, and the most significant contribution, which is way outside our purview, is he's a podcaster. So Nikunj does have significant podcast and a following thereafter as well. Nikunj has been serving in the sphere of geriatric care, and Palghar district senior citizens have ensured that he is respectfully honored for his service. So thank you all for being here. I am sure with such a great panel that sits in front of us, we are going to have some good time to try and listen to all of them. Good morning. Principles and Practice 1 was released around 40 years ago. Sir typed the script of Principles and Practice 2 when he was 58 years old. And it has taken us 40 years to actually flesh the concepts that he had parked in those papers that he had typed when he was there at that time. At that time, when part 1 was created, it was the ideas that he received from LD Dhavale that was brought to bear with the time, with the awareness of the clinical medicine of that time. He brought in the integration of Hahnemannian philosophy and Bhagavad Gita through the literature that he created. He had a humongous library, and the library contained so many books of so many various topics that, it did excite me to the extent that I go on buying books even today. I hardly read. I don't know how much of what I read I bring to practice. But nevertheless, there was a collection from which he created his library. His Shishya, Tiwari sir, who was my guru, is someone I can't miss mentioning today at all. Both of them created a magic which brought in a concept of decoding the unprejudiced observer through a very novel concept of edutainment. There was an entertainment that was a part of the education that both of them brought to life. They brought live patients into a dead sessions, and then they created magic that most of us have experienced. This Guru Shishya that comes up brings in all these Gurus and Shishyas over here with us. I would bring to bear with all of them with my first thought of sharing their experiences of what has been their personal experience of having engaged with MLD, their experiences of having engaged with MLD's literature, and what is that they think about this basic concept of Guru Shishya Parampara. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today's function in itself is representative of Guru Shishya Parampara, which is coming right from the time of LD Dhavale to ML Dhavale and to now Kumar Dhavale and all of you. So we are all part of a Guru Shishya Parampara. Would like to talk about my experience with this? Sure. When I joined ICR, it was the second year of ICR, I suppose so, 77, 78. And I was teacher in school, our medical college. There was a vast difference between what I was learning here in ICR and then what I have to teach in college. Because in college you have to follow certain discipline in terms of syllabus, in terms of curriculum, and you cannot ask question to the students in examination, out of syllabus, all those things were there. That was one experience. Simultaneously on other side, when I was going to ICR training, we had a hot discussion, and initially, of course, I was afraid of ML Dhavale looking at him, because his strict look and disciplined way of dealing with the students, because he was a principal when I was student in my homeopathic college, from 68 to 71. He was principal there also. And there this book of Principle and Practice was given to me, and Dr. Kasad inspired me to join ICR and go ahead with a further teaching in college so that I can improve my teaching. With Dr. Dhavale, I can analyze as a human being. He was absolutely hypersensitive about every relationship that he used to have with anybody, not only patient, with students also. Although appearing very strict and very something different by look, but internally he was like coconut. अंदर से अच्छा था, बाहर एकदम हार्ड था, तो शुरुआत में तो डरते थे, then gradually we developed a good relationship. Many a times it used to be very late in the clinic, in his clinic. He used to put me in my house in taxi when he used to go to Chembur. What I am talking is sensitivity and his way of dealing with the students. But as far as teaching is concerned, as a guru, he was very strict. He's strict in the sense that he had something that a student should follow discipline. And I was the person who was most indisciplined in all my group. Never to come in time, come late, and then Dr. Dhavale used to close the door when anybody is late, so we have to be out till that session is over. Particularly in summer school, it was something like that, Lot of discussions and things were going on. But as a teacher, I'll tell you, he was taskmaster true. But at the same time, Dr. Kasad drew my attention. Kishore, he is like that, but I told him, sir, if he is teaching like this to everybody cannot accept whatever he is teaching or may not understand also. Because his language, first of all, is English language. Oh, we are coming from vernacular Gujju, that to Baniya's house, you know, and then coming in and his English, oh, anyway. But then he told me that he is sensitive, he knows kisko kaisa sikhane ka, he is very distinct. He was the first person in our college when he came as a principal. Now that NIT, NEET and all these things are going on. But when I joined college as a student, he was a principal. He took our test first before giving admission in homeopathic medical college, mind well. At that time there was no ICR, nothing. And he took our exam. And then we appeared and there are 50 seats for admission. And he admitted only 27. And 27 mein luckily my 27th tha in admission. So this was his way of dealing. And he was really very sensitive. And when in clinic I used to observe him. You know, his talk with patient was so free. बोला ये इधर फ्री रहता है हमारे साथ क्यों इतना स्ट्रिक्ट बनता है you know इधर तो अच्छे से आराम से बात करता है. Then gradually he taught us many things. Dr. Tiwari was with me. We were together at that same time. And Tiwari also helped us very much because Tiwari was like a buffer. क्योंकि वो सर गुस्सा करते हैं और हमको अंदर से गुस्सा आता है तो he was buffer. किशोर भाई ज़्यादा सोचने का नहीं, वो तो बोलेगा ठीक है. But as you rightly say, Dr. Tiwari was really in between who could develop. His first seminar that was there in near Bombay Hospital or Liberty Cinema के बाजू में था कहीं first. That was related with what subject you told now. And that time, mind well, Dr. Tiwari, our English was very bad, our clinical knowledge was zero. I'll tell you one thing. When I used to appear in examination for final year in DHMS, our teachers who were there in Nanavati Hospital, what was their attitude, you know? एग्जाम में कमिंग सर्जरी का एग्जाम है, ये क्या है सर? इट इज अल्सर. ओके. ये क्या है? ये ग्लैंड है. ये क्या है? ये सर अपेंडिक्स है. ओके पास, इनफ फॉर यू. दैट वाज द एटीट्यूड. You know, with that state of our clinical knowledge, our English, we entered with Dr. Dhavale. Try to understand, Dr. Dhavale को कितनी मेहनत पड़ी होगी वो हम आज सोचता हूँ. I was telling Dr. Kumar, sir, hats off to that man. हमारे जैसे डफर्स को भी इतना तो ऊपर लाया वो हम हमारी कैपेसिटी से इतना ही ऊपर आए. लेकिन यहाँ मेरे आगे पीछे यहाँ बैठे हैं सब लोग जिसकी क्लिनिकल नॉलेज इज मच मच मोर बेटर देन मी व्हाट I used to have when I was student. And organ, and I'll tell you, I used to teach organon and philosophy. My main book was Principle and Practice. From there I used to teach because that book I loved like anything, you know. And I used to teach from there. And organon में क्या पढ़ा हूँ वो तो मालूम ही नहीं पड़ा कि organon itself was English again, you know. So इसे अच्छा है Principle of Practice Philosophy सिखा दो. Symptomatology ये वो. Anyway. Then Dr. Dhavale used to be, when we used to have discussion and all those things, Dr. Dhavale used to sit so coolly and calmly. We were all fighting and this, and Dr. Tiwari, as you know, master in running a session, particularly life and living. Usko life and living mil gaya to he is in full form. And Dr. Dhavale is also sitting behind, absolutely behind in that, we were there at प्रार्थना समाज, वहाँ एकदम पीछे बैठते थे डॉक्टर धवल. एंड ही यूज्ड टू मेक, आई थिंक कानिटकर वाज आल्सो देयर. इज शी देयर हियर? शी हैज नॉट कम. कानिटकर मीन्स नाउ बेलसर है, सॉरी. या शी वाज आल्सो. डॉक्टर धवले, ही फाउंड दैट वी डिड नॉट नो इंग्लिश मच. ही अपॉइंटेड वन इंग्लिश टीचर टू टीच अस इंग्लिश. माइंड वेल हाउ मच सेंसिटिव ही वाज कि ये इन लोगों को एक इंग्लिश टीचर रख दो तो थोड़ा तो कुछ समझेंगे. लेकिन इट सो हैपेंड दैट इंग्लिश टीचर स्टार्टेड स्पीकिंग गुजराती. That was our state, you know. You can understand. So, talking of Dr. Dhavale's experience, my personal experience, many of us, have many problems in our life, you know. And I found Dr. Dhavale was the best person to discuss with him about all these things. And he gave me one important lesson. Kishore, if you want to be successful in life, try to take responsibility. You are running away from the responsibility. Not only in your social life, but also in institution also. You are not taking it. And he offered me to be an associate director with Dr. Tiwari. Somehow there were circumstances I could not go ahead with it. But he was really a great man who could understand every aspect of student. And as far as his teaching, when I see all these, Dr. Kapse ka abhi book pada maine, operational, that was first written in first summer school by sir. And it was small booklet with yellow color cover, you know. And Dr. LD Dhavale's Mashal was there, you know. So that particular book of operational this thing, he asked us to read and asked us to put it in practice. We were really, to be very frank, we were tired at the end of the day. But no doubt, it made me a good teacher. I learned to make structures, and I made structures of all the materia medica drugs which many students have received by now, you know. And that helped me to be a good teacher. Even I was very angry on the students who were not answering me well in exam or so. After being in ICR for at least 3 years I was there. Not a regular, but because at that time I was teacher, so I had to go part-time only. And I used to teach my students those. First, going in the classroom, I used to make big structure of the drug. But I'll tell you, I learned from him how to analyze, how to evaluate, how to conceptualize. I think he has made my life smooth as far as homeopathic practice is concerned and my understanding is concerned. At present, with whatever I have learned from him, today it has helped me tremendously to the extent that whenever I'm going out of Bombay with various institutions and out of India also, they have accepted this manner of practice, you know. But even every Thursday, Dr. Dhavale used to keep lectures on, meeting on Thursdays. In my clinic also, since then I left ICR, every Thursday we have clinical meeting since that time. And that is his inspiration, you know, every Saturday. And I'll tell you today, whatever I am here, all obligations to whole Dhavale family. It's Dr. Dhavale, yes. LD Dhavale I could not see, unfortunately. And Kumar Dhavale, I think great parampara. It is a Kautumbik parampara. अपनी तो है ही, ये कुटुंबिक परंपरा भी है. बहुत बड़ी बात है ये. 3 generation तक education को, and what was teaching, who is a teacher and what is education, I did not know anything about it. After joining ICR, realize कि इसको education बोलते हैं, इसको teaching बोलते हैं, students को कैसे करना, क्या करना. Well, gradually I did try to follow all these steps that you had given for certain years, for some. Then लगता है ये ऐसा ऐसा कर सकते हैं हम लोग.
परवालिया सर को भी पूछते हैं,
हाँ,
उनका क्या अनुभव रहा?
प्लीज. हाँ, नहीं तो मैं मेरे को बोल देना, नहीं तो चलता ही रहेगा शाम तक. Teacher and mind, they don't go together.
Respected Pinakin Bhai, Mehta sir, Dr. Jawar Shah sir, Dr. Kumar, my Guru Bandhu, all my dear colleagues and friends. It's really an auspicious occasion which brings us back 4 decades. I was fortunate to be with Sir from 81 to 87. I completed my last paper of final DHMS on 23rd July at Anand, and on 23rd July 1981, and on 24th July 1981 at 8 o'clock in the morning I was with Sir. I was staying at Ghatkopar and I knew about the discipline of the institute and Sir's attitude about the timing and punctuality and sincerity. So I had taken decision to stay at Chira Bazar at my brother's office. It was a little tough decision. Since 4 years I had spent in the hostel, I was coming back with the idea of going back to the home. But then all those pleasurable ideas required to be put aside when I thought that I need to commit myself. And that was the day. Since then I had been with Sir. The initial year when you are in that dynamic environment, the learning circumstance which Sir had created, you pass through a number of swings. Of course, there is tremendous affection, tremendous care when you are in that situation. You are given an opportunity, a clinical opportunity, when you are allotted a patient and you made in charge of the patient. And when your mentor becomes the supervisor. It's a great experience. Of course, you do become conscious. Then subsequently, you do become little upset with the critical evaluation which comes up. But eventually, you learn, since you are confronted to yourself, what are your strength and weakness. It's a process which you pass through. Sometimes you have a colleague as an observer and you are analyzed through the case-taking setting. Sometimes you have a supervisor and an observer. Sometimes you may have even Sir as an observer, if you are fortunate in some occasion. But really, I was blessed with it. Now, that is something which built up a gradual conceptual matrix and simultaneously also reduced, exaggerated consciousness about our self-image. Because we love that. And whenever it is confronted or threatened, we are scared. We make all out effort to protect it. The CSE clinical session evaluation form, the interaction there, and subsequent academic session, both this together brings about a lot of heat followed by tremendous light. And I was witness. I passed through that heat which resulted into certain swings, but I remained steadfast to the objective, and then gradually I started learning and gaining a lot of fruits out of this entire. That was the first lesson of experiential learning which got imbibed within. That is the fundamental foundation of the learning if you wish to move ahead in your life. Similarly, if you wish to impart to others, when you are talking of Guru Shishya Parampara, my Guru has given me this, and if I need to, as a Shishya, I pass through heat and light and then try to achieve that, and then I try to transmit it to others, and that is the parampara. Now, this was...
Sir, in today's time, Anand has learned something from MLD and is transferring to his students. And there is a journey that he is trying to bridge. If Anand can share what are the difficulties that you go through now, when you are attempting to imbibe in the student the concept of discipline that Mehta sir has said, or the effort that Barwalia sir is saying that is to be expected of the student to take, accept the heat and then learn from that heat. What has been your experience of handling the students now?
See, the student is one whose mind is moving in a Brownian moment. Because there are so many things going on in our mind and pulling us in various directions. Conflicting states, confusion. And I would separate the teacher from a guru because it is a guru who gives direction to your life. He teaches you how to live. He doesn't just teach you the subject. So, even whatever we were, as sir has described rightly, we were in the same state. We had not experienced good homeopathic results. We did not know so many things. We did not know what is ahead in our life. And MLD, there is a certain exterior, but beyond that is a fundamental belief that philosophy and practice are same. And it is the job of the teacher to demonstrate it to the student by the way he is living all the time. And Guru Shishya Parampara, at least in ICRD, means that, as Prabhu rightly pointed out, you reach there at 7:40 and you are there till night 9 or till the last patient goes, which can be 11 p.m.
11.
So you can only go home, have some sleep and come back again. So practically you are spending your time with your Guru. And that is what is shaping you. So, and it exposes you to all variety of knowledges. You are surrounded by books. And then there is a system. So you are trying to organize your own mind, which is right now irrational, moving like this, into a system. You are acquiring various facts, concepts.
But Anand, in today's time,
Yeah.
like sir was talking of CSCF as a tool which brought him to an awareness of something. You are now sharing with your students how to use the SCR as a tool.
Yeah.
What has been your efforts and the learning that you got? What makes people learn?
See, the fundamental what I have found is that it is a result which makes student learn. There is an action result complex because the student firstly comes with a confusion whether homeopathy works and how to select the right remedy. So when you show a right action result complex and engage the student around with that, then he is willing to learn the reasons on which certain action is taken. Then he is willing to learn the system. I'm sorry, my voice is hoarse today.
Hold the mic to your mouth.
I'll try to.
Mic
Yeah.
जवळ ठेवून.
So the student, I have not found any change in the state of the student, what we were 40 years back and what the student comes today, because fortunately, unfortunately, homeopathic institutions continue the same.
But the clinical knowledge in movement.
Little better.
Do you
But-
think you have been as good as MLD as you experienced him to your students?
No, it is not possible.
Not possible.
Not possible. He was a giant. See, for me, whatever now I have studied 40 years, there is a Guru Shishya Parampara in homeopathy, which starts with Hahnemann to Boningason. Then that thought continues, Kent, Boger. I find MLD is the person who fits into that Guru Shishya Parampara.
But
So for us to compare, each of these masters has picked up the thoughts of the predecessor and they have taken it further.
No, but the tools
And
that
we
he
are
created,
we are small fries who try to explore these 5 gurus.
Nee, Anand, but in the tools that he created, does that help you to reach out to the
100,
students?
because he has created tools which can help you teach all these masters. I mean, that is the beauty of his work, that the integration level is so high that all the 3 classical approach, which also start with the Hahnemannian teachings, clinical knowledges, the Indian philosophy, the psychology, the psychiatry, everything merges into one piece. Now, that is only possible when you are walking the talk. You are applying all these knowledges in day-to-day practice in an integrated way, which creates that conceptual grid. So having the conceptual clarity and developing a methodology, a system to apply that conceptual grid into practice. So this is a gigantic task, and this is not possible unless you live it.
I just switched to Lata. You never experienced these people. Just a minute. They have lived with him and they have learned from him. You never lived with him. You have only read from him. How did you match this bridge to your student that you get to with?
Sir, the only bridge was Tiwari sir and the faculty of Bombay that interacted with us. So initially, for us, learning was very transactional through books, schools. There was never anything that we thought how much to earn, how much to get respect. Then when we first entered into this institute, we started realizing this is different. And there was while I would love to cling on to fingers, the fingers started telling, look at yourself, point to yourself, the finger was saying. So I realized that our masters and sirs have gone beyond making medicine a job for survival to something that is deeply spiritual yet very disciplined and scientific. So that was very attractive and catching for this kind of a person that I am. But Tiwari sir was not a very easy person to work with, sir. So I would find it very difficult why he is sitting on our head and making us do these things and never teaching us anything. So once, very early on, I had the guts to tell him that, sir, I think it's getting too much for us. Why don't you teach us? Why can't you just make it simple for us? Why are you, who understands philosophy at 23, 24 when all that we are trying to do is settle everything? Then he's not going to answer me straight, right? So he's going to tell me a story which I'm supposed to figure out what it means. But that story is something that I never forgot. He said, there was a poor man who went to Krishna and Arjuna and said, I can't live, I need help. So Arjuna gives him a bag of coins and he's very happy with the gold coins and walks, and the robber in the jungle took away the coins. He felt very bad and went back. Then Arjuna gave him a diamond. Then he said, now I'm not going to lose this diamond. And he went and hid it in a pot. And then the wife takes the pot and puts it in the river for fetching water. And the diamond goes. And then he again comes back crying. So this time Krishna tells him, don't touch. I will handle. He gives him 3 coins, 3 1-rupee coins. And then he says, what is the use of these 3 1-rupee coins? And he starts walking. Then he sees a fisherman who's selling those fish. One of the fish was really struggling. And he thought, okay, let me buy that fish and put it back into the lake. At least it's surviving. So when he caught hold of that fish, there was something hard stuck. And he removed that. And he saw it was his diamond. He got so happy. He started shouting that the robber thought he's shouting for him and gave him the coins also back. Then Tiwari sir said, what did you learn? I said, sir, what am I supposed to learn? That 3 rupees is going to give us such a lot back, whatever we lost. And then he said, it's not that. Sir, at 23, 24, who will think this? He said, can't you see that the day he started feeling the pain of somebody else, the day he started looking beyond himself, he gets blessed with whatever he deserves. And that was something that we realized over a period of time, that it was such a simple lesson taught in a very difficult manner, but something that stayed with us for a lifetime.
Saunil obviously has some experiences way out of the orbit that all of they have been sharing so far. Saunil went through with BP Kothari and then thereafter. What happened?
See, my first interaction with Dr. Dhavale sir was through his books. In the UG, I read the Principles and Practice, and I found that this book is much more relevant for the time. What I had read in Organon, what I read in Kent, Stuart Cross, due respects. But this was the first book which I found that it is relevant for today, and I could relate with it in a much better way, rather than those old books, the language and everything. Then, further ahead, somebody introduced me to Dr. B.P. Kothari, and then Dr. Mihir, Dr. Manoj, and 2 other doctors. We joined Dr. B.P. Kothari's clinic, where it was written Hahnemannian homeopathy. And we were intrigued that what is this? And that is exactly where the Guru Sishya Parampara could be realized, that Dr. B.P. Kothari actually lived the way Dr. M.L. Dhavale had written in his books. That was the learning, that we can live this life. What is written in books, we can also practice. And that is how the parampara continued. I could listen to Dr. M.L. Dhavale through his writings, his perceiving, his symposium volumes and all. And then symposias, I was introduced to Dr. Kumar sir. Gradually he became my family physician, my mentor, friend, philosopher and guide. So what our elders have witnessed about Dr. M.L. Dhavale, I could see something different. I mean, I won't say different, but the tri-coordinate care which he had emphasized, I could see the learner care part from Dr. Dhavale's functioning. I don't know how much I learned about homeopathy, but I could always see that Dr. Kumar sir was always there for me. He would have only 1 or 2 sentences written in his inland letters or postcards when I'm struggling, and that were very strict. And I had to follow, even though I did not like certain things. And then certain things I could not discuss with him. But then came Dr. Tiwari sir. I have hardly spent much time with him personally, but during such small conversation, छोड़ दे, इतना कर दे, इतना करेगा ठीक हो जाएगा. Some simple direct ground level का simple advice. तो ये जो learner care था, that was demonstrated in my life. That is the best part that has happened in. And then about reading the books, the thing that really struck me was Dr. Dhavale's book had conscience. Long back, there was only one guru who would take care of your religious issues and your health issues. But as the medical knowledge advanced, the roles separated. Guru could not handle the medical aspect, so medical aspect was given to somebody else. And then over a period of time, the medical person lost the conscience. And that is exactly what we are seeing these days. That there is a big gap between the conscience and the clinical work that they are doing. According to me, according to my exposure, Dr. M.L. Dhavale's book and the whole series of books deals with that conscience. It has stirred conscience within me, and I think that is the biggest gift I ever.
Nikunj, for all of us, has traversed from training at ICR to learning at MLDMHI to now teaching at MLDMHI. How do you look at that journey?
I mean, listening to that Guru Shishya Parampara which we have been there, all of us who have passed through, we learned from students of MLD'S. Now, in today's world, what we see is the world is full of teachers. Actually, anyone who wants to learn, all you need is a good internet connection. That's it. And most importantly is, what is lacking is the intent to learn. All you need is an intent. The teachers are there. Unfortunately, the classrooms are empty. So everybody is teaching somewhere. All you need, just log in, gain the knowledge. But there is a lot of noise. That noise is what a guru separates. is the guru allows you to filter that noise. So there will be teachers. Sir said that there are a lot of teachers, but the guru is one. So the noise, when it is filtered out, it is then when somebody gives you a direction, somebody empowers you, and somebody makes you think independently. And that's the role of a guru. I think long ago, I recollect, must be, I don't know the content of the mail, must be some random ramblings which I must have sent to Kumar sir. And he wrote me a reply to the mail and he said, the art of man-making runs deep. What ICR practices is the art of man-making. And then sir goes on to write about MLD was the man who was MLD sir was the man who believed that a person should rise above your own circumstances and achieve what all one needs to achieve. So intrigue me, man-making and all. Man-making is something which the philosophy is professed by Swami Vivekananda. And then subsequently in the modern times by Swami Chinmayananda. He has 2 books on art of man-making, fantastic books. What it deals is making a human being rise above their circumstances and at one point of time learning in an ethical way. What Sanil sir also said, the conscience. The ethics has to be a part of any role or responsibility which you take and how you discharge that. Now this is the legacy of the organization. When an organization does not see you as a student or does not see you as somebody who has paid the fees or has come to just study here, but it is man-making and it takes time. But eventually you see men over here who have gone on to sit on the highest pedestals of homeopathy. There are students of MLD sir who have now nurtured institutions who are sitting here. And then there are our students of theirs who are working for the institute. And this legacy, I think, will continue. It runs deep. So that is what the Guru Shishya Parampara means to me.
Transferring of this legacy, attitude, conduct of life, converting all of that into practice of homeopathy and treating patients. In all your experience, all 6 of you are sitting over here, if I could ask each one of you, like if you were there, sir, in your instance, how does that structure form function as a tool? Demonstrate to you your organon into its miasmatic correlations. How does that help you and how that gets translated to your students? Yeah. So you'll have to be very brief on this. Yeah.
See, the structure, form and function gave me a basic understanding of the phenomena of the disease. And Hahnemann talks of phenomena of the disease in 9th aphorism. Disease is a phenomena. That phenomena word was not understood by me till I understood that what is a phenomena. So which has a causation, beginning, acme and this. And all these things represented in miasm by having a graph. So what Organon was talking in general, he made it more specific at every level of Organon. मिशन से शुरू होता है या नॉलेज से शुरू होता है और पोर्ट्रेट से डिजीज होता है. All these things are actually put it into paper and shown in the patient when we were trying to understand how the case was taken, how it was problem definition, resolution. When we see all these things, then we realize that Dr. Hahnemann का इतना भी भारे पड़ता है, तो ये तो वामन दर्शन हो गया था by him. It was a वामन darshan of homeopathy or organon. So in practice, it does help. Structure, form, function is a fundamental aspect of any living organism. तो बेस ही हुई था.
Praful sir, you are talking of CSCF. You are talking of CSCF as a tool that brings us to life and awareness. How do you look at that tool in today's world and bringing it to actually for students?
Clinical session evaluation form you are referring to. And in the context of today's world, where does it stand? Right? Now it has much more and deeper implication Now, number one, in today's world, when we relate to homeopathic world, we are seeing a lot of diversities. People are taking different approaches and practicing homeopathy. Now, I am not talking of Boger's approach or Vonnegush's approach or Kant's approach. Now, homeopathy has become almost an homeopath-centered, individualized homeopathic practice. Now, clinical session evaluation form will definitely bring you closer to the fundamentals of your case taking and then evolving a standard case and then achieving the totality. Is it all theoretical, doctrinal, or it has practical implication? In one of the town of Germany, when Hahnemann went, the various homeopaths and the fans of homeopath gathered. And sir, tell us, who is the best homeopath according to you in this town? Whom should we consider best? Hahnemann's answer was simple. Give me the case book. Once case taking shows completeness, he is the best. Not the one who is successful and has a huge queue, not the one who is getting a lot of results in the whole queue. Now, so clinical session evaluation form will definitely bring you to case taking and what Hahnemann has mentioned about completeness of the case taking. Second important aspect is unprejudiced observer. When we are talking of malobservation, non-observation, errors of observation, all these things come into play. So obviously, when this tool is grasped properly and the way in which Tiwari sir has made Herculean efforts to teach us how to come face to our prejudices, handle them and move ahead. You will never eliminate, but once you handle them, once you become aware, you will be able to do this. Now, all these things are interrelated, Anup. When you are talking of Guru Shishya Parampara, when you are talking of Guru, when you are talking of teacher, when we speak of Guru and split Guru, Gu and Ru, the Gu is the darkness, and the Ru is one who dispels this, who eliminates this, who destroys this, the darkness. So we come across various teachers. Now it's up to us whom to make Guru. And again, the onus of responsibility also lies on us. There might be Guru standing in front of you who is quite keen to dispel that darkness, to destroy that darkness. Are you capable to stand there? Are you capable to leave the implications which your Guru is lying down for the process of dispelling that darkness? If you are, then definitely the destroyer of the darkness will work on it and there will be transformation. This is the essential difference I see when I look at my mentor's teaching. That the teaching is not focusing on acquisition of facts or building up of some concepts, but the ultimate goal is the transformation. And if that transformation happens, the absolute credit goes to Guru. What I am, I owe to my Guru. What I am, what I have achieved, I owe to Dr. M.L. Dhavale, my teacher, my mentor, my Guru. And that is the keynote. So the important aspect in all these, in today's world, this is much more important because we are going far away from ethics. We are becoming solely dependent on Darwin imports. Right from Trump to Musk, everyone is showing you day in and out. And this will be disastrous over a period of time. if the teaching industry gets totally inflicted by that. And so onus of responsibility on teachers are much more to see to it that although 5% this Guru Shishya Parampara is alive in our world, in all the fields, to see to it that the 5% remains and over a period of time we expand it. So there the transference of values become much more important, which is the key aspect in the Guru Shishya Parampara. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, as we are coming to the close of time, which is the master of all of us, you know, I wish to express my gratitude for all of you for sparing your morning and sharing your life's wisdom to all of us who are here. You know, we also have to look up to the lessons that they were sharing with all of us. You know, concepts of being disciplined, concepts of being able to put yourself into the post of taking responsibilities and discharging them. You know, being true to what efforts the Guru is making you in transforming you from X to Y. You know, trying to breach the heat that comes up in this process of friction that can come up. And obviously attempting to balance our own lives so that we march on in the bright future that exists beyond all of us. You know, I wish to bring down this panel to the closure end, and there is a request. You know, all of you have a minute each to share your view. How do you think this can proceed ahead in the life? How does this Guru Shishya Parampara and transformative processes in homeopathy you envisage will go ahead in life henceforth? A minute each for each one of you.
Guru has to be sensitive that what my disciple can accept and what is his potentiality.
Yes, Anand.
I think in the today's world, use of technology has become very critical, and even critical thinking also can be taught through software in homeopathy. This is my experience. So online use this SCR system and the logic, because everything in homeopathy comes down to symptomatology. All concepts of homeopathy get linked to symptomatology. And if that can be, the student can be trained in connection of symptomatology with various concepts of homeopathy through software, because that is the easiest way to reach across, then homeopathy can proceed.
Institute is making an effort of doing online teaching training program.
Yeah, so that was what I wanted to share, because South was just like we have the political parties talking North-South divide. We have this divide between Bombay and the South, which never could be bridged because it's not physically possible to travel distances, leaving so many of our roles and responsibilities. Post-COVID opened up an entire new platform of Zoom and a way to connect to people, which even though the Guru Shishya Parampara based on direct relationships, it is possible, like what got launched recently in the continued homeopathic education program, you could see the immense joy that almost 100 people from South have joined that program. So, and even if they don't attend the main sessions, they listen to the recordings. And for them to get connected with the cases, the sirs, and this, even if it is a Zoom, you can make it still very interactive. And you can make it like a group presentation and have action learning happening. So that was something that was a very remarkable launch by the Institute. And it has helped us feel that we can also stay connected with our mentors and learn from them. Such beautiful presentations of warts, psychiatric cases, management of pneumonia. How would we sitting in our clinics even think of learning from our sirs, except through this platform? And even that student, where earlier we had to physically be present in clinics, and we always used to feel the learning we get in Bombay is different from elsewhere. Now they've made a hybrid program where the students get connected to all centers across India, and yet they attend the clinics for the personal touch. So the hybrid regular training program is another model which uses Zoom. So I think going ahead, we can use the artificial intelligence to replicate telemedicine from Parle to many parts of India.
How do you look at sharing and transfer of knowledge through publishing?
So knowledge has to be shared. I mean, what we believe is the more you give, the more you get. The more you keep with you, the less it comes to you. So the need of the hour today is not to just be content with what we are doing. I think publication is the way forward because you're leaving a legacy behind. I think all of us learned because our past masters wrote, and they wrote absolutely, they were giants in publishing. What we have been lacking, I personally feel, is that we as an institute have been doing work in probably all areas of clinical care, community, education, and research. We are less published. Our body of work is not justified by our publication because there is so much that the world can learn from us and so much that we can share and even learn from them because probably the journal process has taught us that there are stalwarts sitting all across the world. And they as reviewers also give you an insight which we may be missing in a lot of our things. So it's not only we do, it's all of us do together. And I think in today's world, nobody can live in isolation. It's all of us have to together move ahead. That's how the science moves. And publication is because, of course, the government is asking for evidence. The world is asking for evidence. And we need to, as a science, give evidence. I think the onus lies on us. So I think publication is very, very important.
Can I conclude this panel discussion or do you want this to go on?
You are the master.
Yeah. So, given the constraints of time, I really state my sincere thanks and gratitude to all of you, having shared all your experiences and potential direction for the future for homeopaths and homeopathy together in this country and the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Some of the inspiring stories of Guru Shishya Parampara. I think it speaks about the special bond between teacher and a student. MLD sir was very ahead of his educational technology, and that is today we are thinking in terms of EPA, and that's why possibly we are known as Institute of Clinical Research. We try to follow his path, and I'm sure many of us will find a guru and ready to spend these 3 coins if you are holding. And obviously what Nikunj has said, publication, that's a very, very important part.
I invite Dr. Kumar, the author of the book, to felicitate all our panelists and distribute the certificates. So Dr. Kumar can... Yeah. Felicitate them. So, Dr. Kishore Mehta. Thank you, sir. Please a big round of applause. Dr. Praful Barwalia. Thank you, sir. Contribution on heat and light was phenomenal. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Dr. Kapse. Thank you, Dr. Kapse, for a really lovely contribution. Dr. Saunil Malwania. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Saunil. Dr. Lata Devarajan. It's on. You can. Your story was very intriguing. Thank you, Lata. Yeah, we'll take it. Dr. Nikunj. Thank you for the contribution of man-making. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the panelists. Yeah, and Yeah, the master, the moderator. Dr. Anup, I'm so sorry. Dr. Anup. He did a lovely job. All can stand for the photograph, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, sir. You can gradually take your seats. Yeah. We would also like to felicitate few of our guests. Mrs. Tiwari. Dr. Shama, could you please felicitate Dr. Tiwari? Mrs. Tiwari. We are so happy to have you here. It is a huge inspiration to see her. Also like to felicitate Dr. Mamtora, our well-wisher. Dr. Shama, could you please felicitate Dr. Mamtora? Dr. Sunita to felicitate Dr. Parinaz Umranwala. Thank you, Parinaz, for coming. Thank you so much. Dr. Jai Patel. Dr. Shama to felicitate Dr. Jai Patel. Dr. Manoj to felicitate Dr. Jawahar Shah. And Dr. Sunita to felicitate Dr. Mihir Parikh. Dr. Shama to felicitate Dr. Kamlesh Mehta. Dr. Kamlesh Mehta. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Vaibhav. Okay, so let me remind one more time. Please book your copy. Pre-launch 20% discount is there. And why I'm announcing? Because there are so many are online, and here, at least at the end of the day, I should see that there are 200 copies order before the function is ending. At the same time, many people are contributing in a different way. And today, what we are seeing in the far right corner of a masterpiece created by our own Dr. Rupa Lora. Where is Dr. Rupa Lora? Dr. Rupa? Yes, big hand to Dr. Rupa Lora. I think this dedication is of more than 1100 rubrics and 18 hours of continuous effort. So Rupa Lora, thank you very much for your contribution. Move it. Auction. And the money goes to the trust. Yes. And Otherwise, we will get sponsor as a homeopath. Okay, so let's move to the next segment, which is a documentary about creation of book. When I think about journey of this book, why we are seeing journey? Because it has traveled 40 years, so it is a journey. It reminds me a story of a seed. So what does the story say? Once, a small seed fell on the ground and lay there hidden, noticed but unnoticed for many years. And the time came, with the care and patience, it grew into a tree that provided fruits and shade. A book is like that seed. It began with an extraordinary idea in MLD sir's mind. He wrote the first draft, which remained untouched for a while. Then, Dr. Kumar Dhavale steps in. With his dedication, hard work, and time, the book blossomed into something that offers inspiration and knowledge to everyone who picks it up. And that's why this is a must-have copy in everyone's library.
So we are about to witness a phenomenal documentary which was conceived by Dr. Tamanna and later developed by Dr. Aditya and Dr. Keyur Vakharia. So they actually filmed over 4 hours of filming, and then it was edited into a 28-minute version. So they have really tried and done a very lovely job. I think you should be witnessing it. So we are starting the film now. Can you switch off the lights, please, on the stage?
वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी, अंबर झूमेगा, धरती गीत गाएगी।
इन काली सदियों के सर से जब रात का आंचल ढलकेगा,
जब दुख के बादल पिघलेंगे, जब सुख का सागर छलकेगा, जब अंबर झूम के नाचेगा, जब धरती नगमे गाएगी।
वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी, वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी।
All of us have been feeling very strongly that the book deserves to be printed, deserves to be circulated.
We had Dr. Bole, who was a researcher in yoga from Dhavale. So after MLD's device, he had passed one comment which has stayed with me. He said that MLD was, his intellect was so keen and his thoughts and his knowledge was so ahead of his time that it would be difficult for the profession to grasp. And it is the responsibility of the disciples of MLD. So you have to write commentaries on his writings so that those become accessible to the next generations.
See, MLD sir's writing process, if one was to speak about, it changed over a period of time. Because I do remember when it was Principles in Practice, and I'm talking about in 65, and I was only about 12 years old at that time. And I do remember at that time, he would type, but he would be very systematic in what he would write. And the next project was the symposium volume. And there what we found that most of the paper writers had not been trained in writing, English writing. So he would ask them to write, and they would come with some sort of papers, and what would be at the end of the interaction was huge crosses across whatever was written and something in the margins and some diagrams, because we know symposium volume has so many atlases and so many diagrams. So the paper writer would go back totally changed. At least the manuscript was changed totally.
He was rather impatient as a person. So he had difficulty in comprehending that smaller mortals have difficulty. So fortunately for me, my English was good, though I come from a Marathi medium.
And then when we went on to Perceiving One and Life and Living, there I think he almost withdrew him to himself. Then there was not much of an interaction. Then what he would produce was almost final. He would talk to Mrs. Belsray and she would give inputs. But I am not too sure that many of those inputs would be really accepted. And as a result of what happened was that the style which MLD sir used subsequently, he was very, very direct and very abrupt in the changes that he went through. So there was a huge change. MLD sir in 65 and in 1986.
In 86, he wrote the basic draft, not noted down. He wrote a book, but the book was like so aphorismic, like Hahnemann's aphorisms or Panini, the great grammarian in Sanskrit. He has written 3 or 4 lines suktas, which you go on spending, you go on writing a commentary on it, page after page.
It became more sort of a focused, more only the essence and shorn of all ornamentation. So what Mrs. Belsray is saying is true, sutras. You know, in talking in terms of sutras.
You cannot believe that Principles and Practice Part 1 and Advancing Frontiers Part 2 was written by the same person. Sir had a perfect command over grammar. So if something new struck him, I told this to Kumar sir also, if something new struck him, an ordinary person like me would scratch out that sentence and rewrite, incorporating that. No, he just turned the end, added the thing further. So for people to understand a 4-line sentence with so many clauses, phrases, difficult. So he was in a hurry to complete the book.
The writing of Advancing Frontiers took place over a very short period of time. As his health was giving way and as his eosinophilia and the interstitial fibrosis started, he was more and more confined to not being able to travel. And at that time, he started with the Advancing Frontiers. And his pattern of writing Advancing Frontiers was that he would get up very early in the morning. It would be 5 a.m., 9:30 a.m. And at that time, he was still using the typewriter. Though our Vaze uncle had given him an electronic machine, but that was here, it was not at home. So at home he had the typewriter. And in the morning he used to go on typing for at least 2 hours continuously. Entire manuscript was typed straight from his mind onto the paper. And then the peculiar thing of MLD sir was that he developed his peculiar way of writing vertically, horizontally and connecting those, which our printer, Mr. Vaze, found it fascinating. And they were friends. Prabhakar Vaze and my father was friend. So Prabhakar Vaze always used to tell me, Mitrala, he kasa jamta? How does he manage this? And he used to type all those letters in horizontal, vertical and this way. So that was something that was very, very surprising.
Yeah, he had his own way of giving us the input text. He hardly ever wrote things down. He had a baby portable typewriter. And I remember I have memories of his sitting in his room upstairs and typing away on that machine on full-scape size sheets. And he used to hand over those sheets to us, which we again retyped in the format required.
And as he used to, as he had become used to, the entire book was in his mind. The entire chapter series were in his mind. The chapter was in his mind. The chapter used to be written with his sections, subsections, subheadings, and everything used to be written. So one would be surprised that he would give us, this is the advancing frontier. What was it? So it was 7 chapters only in heading, subheading section. This is what do you think of it? Now, at that time, it was extremely difficult for us to understand what he had in mind when he was getting through this and what he actually wanted to pen or how he wanted to flesh everything. This whole process took place, and it took place maybe over 6 to 7 months. The whole thing was complete.
See, the last time was we had a marathon meeting at Dr. Manoj Patel's clinic. After the symposium closed early, and we went to his, or we had some public function, and we went to his clinic and sat and talked. And that was in 93.
The attempts earlier, what Mrs. Belsre mentioned about Manoj Sir's clinic, we had gone to Kalyan, to Dr. Kapse Sir's clinic, and we had sat down there. Dr. Dikshit Sir was there. So we had come and we had listed all the excellent cases, evidence-based cases that were there, and we had already started. Chapter 1 has these cases, Chapter 2 has these cases. All of that was ready.
The original plan in 2002 was to take one case and demonstrate everything. That case had a potential, but then, one case demonstrating so many concepts may have been more complex. And the keeping continuity across the chapter would have been a difficult thing. So probably, it was a wise decision that we did not continue with that.
Sometime in 2010, Madhavi and Rupal and I, all three of us sat down and we took up one case. That case was of mine, of an organic psychosis, which was presented in the symposium. It was a case of lachesis. And we were trying to look at how that case can enter into the susceptibility evaluation. So chapter 3, we were looking at it. And a lot of work was done. Rupal wrote something, Madhavi wrote, CC was written, a lot of work was done. But then, where we got stuck up? We got stuck up because we felt that the way in which Sir has dealt with the concepts in such a short way, if we are going to just talk about the case, then it is not going to get across. We have to constantly connect what aspect of the case to which section and subsection. So then we got down to trying to expand on the subsections in the case. So then we were ourselves convinced that if we were going to give that to a reader and say that now you read this chapter and now the reader was going to get lost in the case and in its own exposition. So then we gave up that also. So then it all went into the cold storage, and then it was because Golden Jubilee of ICR, and we had to do something to bring back Sir's memory.
So Bipin and I were after him that, look, the engine has played a lot of load behind, now the engine has to take the front load. And sir, आप कुछ लिखो, आपको कहना है कुछ, आपने जो समझा है.
So after a psychology book, we were traveling one day in the morning. So I told Sir that now is the time that you must write everything what you have. Now, don't worry about what is going around. We need your final, because MLD Sir has already gave us something to ponder on for too many, we'll have to take rebirth again and again. But now you also have gathered and you also have got good conceptual background as well as experience and understanding. So give back to the world. We are looking forward to it. Now you don't get into other things. Please write.
Bipin Sir's pressure was instrumental. And, when he said that you are the only person and, at the age of 71, 72, and with NLT Sir's passing away, I mean, it was a very tragic incident for all of us, because NLT sir also was in the process of writing something which he could not complete. So I think that that was a sort of a reminder, you could say a shock, I could say a wake-up call, that let us not now waste more time and let us complete this to the extent we can. So it is then that, we decided that no, now enough is enough. Let us bite the bullet now. And that's how we started the work in August or so.
I think it is a click. The speed with which Kumar Dhavale has written this book is not humanly possible. Thing which we have not done for 40 years can be completed in few weeks is not humanly possible.
So the sequence was a little ethical and a little, I would call it, medical or conceptual. The ethical problem was, and we wrestled with that, is it proper to just expand somebody's work who is no more, and who had told us that just add the cases and release the work? That was his last words. So are we justified in making a change? And then I spoke to my sister as a representative of the family, because the copyright rests with the family. They were not at that time transferred to the trust. So I spoke to my sister and I spoke to my brothers. And my sister said that, look, we have to ensure that the word gets across, his ideas get across. And if you feel that that is so, then you go ahead. And then we also, Kapse sir has worked with MLD sir, SKP sir has worked with MLD sir. So we were also asking them from their angle. So we gave a sort of a 360 degrees review we took. And the seniors, they said that Kapse sir was very clear. What MLD sir has written has to be released. Let people understand what they can. Let them not understand what they cannot. Dr. Fansalkar sir was also veering down to the point of view, but he said that no, but the cases have to be added.
So then Kumar sir took the lead. He and Bipin sir, they have a lot of communication channels open to each other. Both of them together created that draft.
मैं तो एक दो दिन भूल गया था, बोला सर को बोला है तो पता नहीं है वो कुछ करेंगे। 2 या 3 दिन के बाद में मेरे को मेल आया, बोला ये देख, तो मुझे लगा अभी ये लग गए काम पे, तो फिर मैं भी लग गया। तो वहां से हमारे दोनों की जर्नी चालू हुई।
We circulated the old chapters as they were to 4 lecturers from the institute. And we asked them, tell us what you feel about the book and how it goes and what you understand. And we also asked them to share it with some of their senior students. So we wanted to get a feedback about whether that book as it is written is going to get across or not.
What I suggested was that the language definitely needs to be more simplified if we want to reach out to a larger section of homeopathic physicians. The various ICR terminologies like problem definition, problem resolution has to be explained with a lot of examples and caselets so that common physicians can read it. Another suggestion was that the various concepts outlined in the book, like unprejudiced observer and similar like that, can be aligned with the aphorism of the 6th edition, so that common homeopathic readers or an average student can relate with the concepts given in the book and the concepts written in the 6th edition.
The clear hint came from our lecturers and our students. And our lecturers said that non-ICR people would not be comfortable with what has been written. And the students, because the students are the final consumers. So they also were into trouble and they were finding the language, the structure of the language, the manner in which the concepts were exposed. They found everything difficult. So then it was confirmatory. that, okay, this is it. We cannot release it the way in which it was written.
Then we started exploring cases. फिर केस का चॉइस करना was very very prime thing, because जगह पे केसेस बहुत है, लेकिन वो कंसेप्ट उसी रिटर्न में करने के लिए then we started exploring. So अभी रिसेंटली MICR एग्जाम हुआ था, ये सब हुआ था. So then we started. So हम दोनों में बहुत उस लेवल पे दोनों के बीच ही मैक्सिमम चला है कंटेंट में.
So then we started the expansion, and in the expansion the process was that we took section by section, we looked at it, and then where we found that things were very congested, very compressed, we expanded it. Then I used to get this back to Bipin sir. Bipin sir would look at it, he would also point out that no, this is not correct, this needs a little more exposition. And then when I used to expand it, at times he used to say, but now you are also becoming difficult.
केस के लिए, केस में भी हम लोग उनको बोलते थे इतना, और फिर केस का वर्किंग भी हम लोगों ने किया है बहुत सारा, और फिर वो गाइड को भेजते थे, ये बराबर है ना, तुमको कुछ ऐड करना है क्या, because we were not wanting to delay the final outcome.
There was this one case in which I had worked on the standardized paper, that is SPHP. So actually being a third observer, I had actually gone into a learner's role and worked the entire SPHP, which is available in the book. So yeah, so that was almost a CCF I have done, along with Bipin sir has guided me, Kumar sir has guided me. So my role in selecting cases were none, but understanding the relevance of the case with respect to what it served in that chapter or in a particular section of the chapter. That was something which was for me to, decipher, and has it actually get transferred?
I have only interacted with Madhavi till CCF, SPHP CCF भरने तक, यानी जो main content है ना, उस content में primarily me and Kumar sir, the all case contributors, but we were leading, and as and when required they came. The moment content part got over, that now we have finished with the content, I was out.
Dr. Shruti has been brought into these advancing frontiers for the first time in a major way. But she was not into textbook. And when I approached her, she was a little reluctant, saying that, look, I am doing a lot of scientific journal thing, and I am out of the textbook type of writing anymore. But I felt that her necessary part of here was because Mrs. Belsares, because of her health condition, we could not expect the type of sustained engagement that she would bring. So I said that the only person who will help us is Shruti. And Shruti has been a magic.
After Kumar sir had finished working on them, I do the majority of the language cleanup, the grammar, the details as such, even things like spacing and capitalization. That then the chapter went to Belsare madam and then to Madhavi ma'am.
So in the case where are we able to, has the author properly deciphered the meaning of intent through the case which has been selected for the same? That was something which I had to do.
Dr. Madhavi's journey over the last, I think, maybe a decade or less than a decade, I think, has been a very tough journey. Madhavi has grown in a remarkable way because, if one sees Madhavi madam's background and Mrs. Belsare's background, there's a huge difference. And language and style doesn't come so easily to Madhavi. But what I see is that the manner in which she has engaged, the type of work and contribution in advancing frontiers has been phenomenal. And she has worked on all the fronts. So hats off to her. Dr. Tamanna has been a force which has constantly reminded us that there is a client who needs to be looked into, who needs to be communicated to, who needs to be cared for in a major way. And so you need to be attentive to it constantly. And she has kept us on our toes in spite of all her engagements and her travels and everything. She has been backbone for our publicity.
In Advancing Frontiers, the tone is of movement, of elevation, of evolution, and this subtlety required some element of surrealism along with lightness. And designing of a cover is not a solo effort. If you see the cover of Advancing Frontiers, it bears the images from the deep space by James Webb Telescope. It was Kumar sir's idea. We brought in the element of the homeopath, the human silhouette that you see in the design. Now, where should this be placed in the design? At what distance? What should be the posture like? What should be the profile? Even the gestures of the hand. This also went through several iterations. Eventually, you see this image, the silhouette, as if reaching out to the galaxy, in that yearning for deeper knowledge, and as if moving towards the frontiers. Now that is how it connects to the title of the book, and also connects to the depth of the knowledge that is hidden in the book.
If MLD sir was around to see the final version of the book, first of all, I'd be terrified to show it to him. If he would have suggested further changes.
And I think sir should be happy, MLD sir should be happy.
He would have been happy. He would look over our shoulders at what we are doing and go on taking turns walking like this, you know. So there would be a little exasperation, and perhaps if he would feel that this wasn't necessary. But at the same time, he would also appreciate what we are doing. Because we have preserved, basically the core is preserved. That is the main thing.
If MLD sir was around, well, I think that he would be surprised that the book has changed its entire contours. And as I have said in the preface, that the structure we have not touched. We have maintained the structure. The chapters, the headings, all of that remains the same. We have not touched it. But where we have tried to make changes is in the method of communication. So if I am looking at that from that angle, the form had to change because the community has changed. Participants have changed, the consumers have changed, clients have changed. So the form had to change. And so therefore, because if you had to deliver the function, if you had to make sure that understanding is there so that people can learn and imbibe and can apply, then I think if MLD sir was able to see the efforts that we have made in making this a book which can reach the people, I think he would be very happy. Well, very satisfied that I have completed the work which was left hanging. The crow had not helped me, who helped sir. But in spite of that, this was something that was due, and I am glad that it has come out.
वो सुबह आखिर आ ही गई खुशियों की बदली छा ही गई, जिसकी खातिर हम सदियों से एक आस लगाए बैठे थे, वो सुबह आखिर आ ही गई, वो सुबह आखिर आ ही गई।
It was indeed a very, very engaging one, very, very touching. I invite Dr. Manoj to say a few words about the film. Lights, please.
वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी, and वो सुबह आ गई. I'm very, 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 very happy. Long round of applause for extremely creative work done by Dr. Aditya and Chief of Vartalap Homeopathy, Dr. Keur. But a very interesting part of this film and the editing which has been done is phenomenal. You can see Dr. Kumar Dhavale sir, सब लोग पूछते थे कि सर का माइंड कैसे फंक्शन करता है. And I think everyone will agree with me that yes, Aditya captured it so beautifully. It's symphony, an orchestra, which has been played so beautifully and so well that it is converted into an advancing frontier. We are extremely happy. Thank you very much. Aditya Tiwari sir will be the happiest soul today by seeing your creative contribution to the MLD Trust. We are very glad with our talented people around. Thank you very much. All set for book release.
So we are actually now coming to the book release function. Let's start with the much awaited one. We've been waiting for it since morning. And the stage has been set. We had the panel discussion followed by the film. And the film was indeed very, very touching. So we'd like to welcome the dignitaries on the dais. Our chief guest, Pinakin Bhai Trivedi, Dr. Kishore Mehta, Dr. Hitesh Purohit, Dr. Kumar Dhavale, Dr. Smita Dhavale, Mrs. Ujwala Pense, Dr. Bipin Jain, Dr. Madhvi Tamboli, Dr. Tamanna Chellani, Dr. Shruti Parle. Prashant. I invite Dr. Prashant to introduce our chief guest, Pinakin Bhai Trivedi.
Our chief guest, Dr. Pinakan Tiwari, doesn't need any introduction because his contribution speaks louder than the title. Dr. Pinakan Trivedi, President, Board of Ethics and Registration for Homeopathy, NCH. Currently, he has an additional responsibility of an in-charge chairman, National Commission for Homeopathy, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. Dr. Trivedi, a stalwart in the field of homeopathy, brings over 3 decades of academic, administrative, and clinical excellence to the healthcare education landscape. With an MD and PhD in homeopathy, the latter with a specialization in oncology and a postgraduate diploma in hospital and health management. He has seamlessly blended the scholarship with leadership. He served as a professor, principal, director, PhD guide at Srimati A.J. Savla Homeopathic Medical College, Mehsana from 1987 to 2021, nurturing the generations of homeopathic physicians. Dr. Trivedi has held key roles in the Central Council of Homeopathy for 16 years, contributing significantly to the curriculum reforms and a postgraduate education. His influence extends to a state and national educational committees, university governance, and in the Gujarat State of Homeopathic Council. A respected PhD guide, examiner, and mentor, 15 scholars have earned doctorate under his guidance. His services during COVID-19 pandemic as a part of Gujarat Advisory Group further highlights his commitment to public health. A lifelong member of MHI and a true academician at the heart, Dr. Trivedi is a symbol of dedication, integrity, and a progressive vision of homeopathy. Please join with me welcoming a warm welcome to Dr. Trivedi. I request Kumar Dhavale sir to felicitate with Shal and Shrifal. It's my honor to introduce our distinguished guest, Dr. Hitesh Purohit, a veteran in the field of homeopathy with over 29 years of academic and 32 years of clinical experience. He is currently serves homeopathy as a working part-time member at National Commission of Homeopathy. He is a director of educational services and principal at Srimati Malini Kishore Sanghvi Homeopathic Medical College, Gujarat. Dr. Purohit is a postgraduate in Matra Medica and holds MBA in Educational Management. He is a PhD guide, curriculum developer, national level resource fellow, and has presented over 100 papers at prestigious conferences. His contribution at a state and national level, including his role in the National Commission for Homeopathy and active involvement in NEP 2020, initiates are commendable. We are privileged to welcome such a dynamic leader and visionary in homeopathic education. Please welcome Dr. Purohit, and I request Manoj sir to felicitate.
Dr. Hitesh Purohit was a student of Dr. B.P. Kothari. Along with Dr. Manoj. A big hand. We request Manoj, Dr. Manoj to welcome Dr. Kishore Mehta once again. Teacher ke teacher. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Welcome once again. Welcome once again. So we request Dr. Manoj to welcome Dr. Smita Dhavale. Madam is a psychiatrist by profession and a strong support to Dr. Kumar, sir, and family. Family members are silent supporters, so this is the time we must acknowledge. And again, request Dr. Manoj to welcome another family member, Mrs. Ujwala Pense, sir's sister, MLD's daughter, trustee of MLDT, and she's contributed in actualizing the dream of MLDT, now greatly involved in Vipassana. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. We request Dr. Manoj to felicitate Dr. Bipin. So we can't say much about Dr. Bipin, but we should. Principal, Director Education, and the brain behind so many projects and plans. Thank you, Bipin. Thank you, Dr. Bipin. We request Dr. Sunil Bhalinge, Director ICR Training, to welcome Dr. Shruti Parle. She has been the language editor and she's done the language cleaning. Am I right, Dr. Shruti? Clean up, okay. Dr. Sunil, you can be here. Dr. Sunil needs to also welcome Dr. Madhvi Tamboli, the editor and manager publication. I request Dr. Manoj to welcome Dr. Tamanna. She has been the media manager, cover page designer, and she pushed everybody to work. So there was a time when we also said, oh, Tamanna, you need to stop now. And last but not the least, we would want Dr. Manoj to also welcome Dr. Kumar. Because from the trust, publication house ki taraf se, we welcome Dr. Kumar as an author of this book. A big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thanks.
So there is a creator and somebody who is behind. So we will like to invite Dr. Bipin Jain. He was instrumental in creation of this book. He was involved in a deep discussion with the author while preparing the manuscript. And I think he needs to share his experience about the book and creation of this book.
So we are now starting off noon. So good afternoon to all. Dr. Pinakin Bhai Trivedi, the chairman of NCH, Dr. Kumar Dhavale sir, Dr. Kishore Mehta sir, Dr. Hitesh Purohit, Smita madam, Ujjwala madam, Dr. Tamanna, Dr. Shruti and Dr. Madhavi. I think it was a wonderful experience because as we went on writing and creating content, it went on unfolding different dimensions and how multidimensional the book is. Because when we went on dealing with content, the first thing which struck me was the book gives meaning to what Dr. Hahnemann has written to students and to the initial practitioner. The next step, it gives meaning to operations which a practitioner does. It further state, it gives a method of reflection to senior practitioners. It also provides the direction to a teacher. The methods, the technique, operations, and implementation of teaching learning methods to impart homeopathic practitioners. I mean, it is a wonderful combinations, and it doesn't stop there. It takes you to the journey from I to we. It gives you the insight of a human being it also talks about our own conflict, and the next paragraph is a resolution. So the whole life and the living, which comes in it by ready. I think a couple of days back, even Dr. Madhavi was sharing that the moment you have a question in your mind, the next paragraph there is an answer. And again, it doesn't stop there. It takes you that what quality one shall nurture to become an educational leader. And then it also laid down the process of transferring oneself into organization. I think such a tiny, 300, 400 page books shows you Brahmand. The pin to Brahmand journey was wonderful. And I think that was what kept us, as we went on unfolding, on our toes. If I recollect, I was in a different level of energy. The energy level was so high that our communication never used to, the email used to come. I don't think I have taken more than a couple of hours or maybe sometimes maybe half a day to reply back. And by the time reply goes in a couple of hours, the next stanza comes. And it was such a beautiful journey and the most satisfying experience of my life. Working with my mentor, my guide, my philosopher, at such a minute level of life, expressions, executions, and being completely satisfied out of this whole process. I think everybody must read it and reflect from all this perspective. It is a complete book. I found one of the connections with Hahnemann's organon of medicine is profoundly operationally explained. So I thank Sir for giving me opportunity to give me an opportunity to participate in this project. And I would say that I have found a lot of my inner potential by working with this project. Thank you.
So thank you, Bipin sir. And now it's time for what we have been waiting for the last 40 years. So requesting
all to please rise.
And let's today be remembered as a day of new story born.
Dignitaries, please do the honors and release the book. Principles and Practice, Part 2, Advancing Frontiers.
Please give a big round of applause. Louder, please.
Huge team effort to bring this today.
Thank you, everyone. And I am sure those who are present online, they must have shared lots of hearts and flowers and thumbs up. If not, please do it. Yeah. So let's now meet the mind that shaped the pages we celebrate today. It is said that the most powerful voice in the room is sometimes the one behind the pen. We always wanted to hear words from Kumar Dhavale sir, as they are not just the words, but they are the blessings, pearls of wisdom. So requesting Kumar sir to enlighten us through his magical words.
Dr. Pinakin sir, in charge chairman of NCH, Dr. Hitesh Purohit sir, part-time member of the NCH, Smita Ujwala, all my colleagues who have contributed to this book, and all of you here who have come with eager expectations. The mind and the heart is full of gratitude. When I called Pinakin sir in connection with asking to come here for the inauguration, without hesitation, he had just taken charge of the commission. Without any hesitation, he mentioned that आपके लिए हम कहीं भी आएंगे. And not only that, but he sent a message that the trust need not incur expenses for his travel and stay. Pinakin sir, I think this is something that we are eternally grateful for. I think Manoj sir was in one of his expressions in the documentary. He mentioned that we are madmen. And I think to an extent, anyone who undertakes such work which MLD sir has undertaken has to have a streak of extremism. Otherwise, without that streak, the type of work that we have seen being done does not occur. But if there is an extremism, then there has to be a counterpoint of balance. Because otherwise, the wheel will get upturned. In the life of my father, my mother was the stable force. And as some of you who have visited the home when she was around, I'm sure you have experienced the hospitality with which she always greeted all the guests and all the students who were associated with MLD sir. And she was the person who gave us a home and brought all of us 4 children up. My wife, Smita, is a professional, not a homemaker alone. And I would say a far better professional than what I am. She exhibits more care, much more patience, and has a concern for all. And I dare to say more concern than what I have for my own part of the family members. And if I have been involved in activities of the trust and in the making of this book, it has been possible because she has minded the fort and she has brought up the children almost single-handed. So it is with gratitude that this book is dedicated to my mother and to my wife. This is a book with joint authors. And there was a reference which was in the documentary This is the second book of the joint authors. Not many of you will know that the Marathi book on homeopathy was started by my grandfather. That must have been sometime in 57, 58. And soon he fell ill and had a stroke and had a aphasia. So it was not possible for him to do any work on that book. So when he passed away, and as per the traditions at that time, the 10th day ritual was performed. And the crow refused to have the offering. And my uncle, who was there at the ceremony, he told my father that there is something that is not done, and therefore the crow is not. And then it was identified that the book has been incomplete. And so the story goes that when my father openly expressed that he would complete the book, then the crow partook of the offering. So that is how the Samachikitsa Shastra, Marathi book, Tattvajnan Ani Paddhati, was finally published in 64 or 65. When we conducted the cremation of my father, we did not have any ritual, so there was no crow. But the crows, in the form and in the role of Bipin sir and Manoj sir, they appeared at an unlikely place in the Palghar train as we were traveling. And I think they have been mainly responsible for the way in which this book has functioned. So I am grateful to both of these gentlemen for the type of assistance that they have given. The book itself, as what has been said, was complete as an aphorism. The book needed a commentary. And the least that I can say, which I have done, is to try to give a faithful commentary of what thoughts and what concepts that Sir has placed. And the journey was tremendously enriching, which Bipin Sir has already mentioned. But again, one more debt of gratitude to Kishore Mehta Sir. Dr. Kishore Mehta has extensively reviewed this book. And reviewing a 400-page book is not easy. And what he says, and which we have printed in the back cover, that the book weaves harmoniously various strands of thought from the Vedantic philosophy, predominantly the Bhagavad Gita, the dynamic philosophy of nature, sound understanding of psychological principles, clinical medicine, and pathophysiology, an essence of the first 6 aphorisms of the Organon. And he writes, no other teacher of medical science has ever established this linkage. So you can imagine that when we are looking into the writing of the commentary and when we encounter these various streams of knowledges, the challenges that it poses on us, and the amount of utter, sometimes awe and wonder that we are faced with. So the book per se is a commentary, but the preface is a creative aspect. It's a long preface, and when Tamanna read the preface, she was egged on to write a poetry. And we have published this poetry in the book. So at the end of the preface, when we were searching as to what has this entire experience taught us, and what on this day of Hahnemann that we are now propounding, I came across the closing stanzas of the Gita. And let me read the stanza and then let me explain what that means. Iti te jnanam akyatam guhyad guhyataram maya vimrushait deshe dhenam yathe chati tatha kuru. Thus I have declared to you the wisdom which is a greater secret than all secrets. Having reflected upon it fully, you now act as you choice. And that was the state of mind that I was in at the end of this, and I end the preface on that note. The gratitude continues. Felicitation. The first debt of gratitude is towards Mrs. Belsare, who is unfortunately not here. Mrs. Belsare has been with us for the last 40 years, and every book that we have published has passed through her gaze and maintained the quality. I'm sure she is looking in and hooked on into the online. So we owe a debt of gratitude to her. This time, under Dr. Shruti's advice, we have decided to try to dissect what has been the contribution of different people who have contributed to the book. So Dr. Bipin Jain has been as a developmental editor, and apart from that, he has also contributed 2 cases. So may I request Pinakin sir to felicitate Dr. Bipin sir on behalf. The next is Shruti. Shruti Parle has been a find. He has contributed to the JISH for a number of years, I think the last 6 years, 7 years. And in Mrs. Belsare's absence, she has really brought up the quality of the book. I thought that I knew English. She told me I don't. So Dr. Shruti, please felicitate Dr. Shruti Parle for the phenomenal work that she has done as a language editor. Madhavi Tamboli, you already heard her in the documentary. She has been an editor even in the previous book. But in this book, she has exceeded herself. Because in this book, because of the absence of Mrs. Belsare, she was also tasked to do the production aspect of the work. So apart from being the editor and being all what she has done, she has also minded the production and spent countless hours with our composer. And mind you, that is not an easy task, because our diagrams and our CCFs means a lot of energy which the composer has to put in. So Madhavi Tamboli, for the work that she has done, as well as the case that she has contributed, which is not her case. We now come to the case contributors. As all of you know, Principles and Practice Part 1 has a plethora of cases. But all those cases were from MLD's personal practice. Here, the concepts were so varied and so integrated that it was impossible for one person to contribute the cases. The lion's share of the case goes to 3 solid cases, which Dr. Shirish Fansalkar has contributed. 3 cases of diabetes. Unfortunately, Dr. Fansalkar was not able to come today because of a family function in Pune. But his cases form the bedrock of Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. And we are really indebted to the phenomenal way in which these cases have been managed and the way in which the cases, the concepts have been illustrated through these cases. Dr. Manoj has contributed a number of instances in the Chapter 1 of case taking, problem definition, and problem resolution. Kindly, Dr. Manoj. Dr. Lata, as we saw, she is not only an articulate speaker, but she is a very hard worker. And she is also a person like the old school who makes people work. So Lata, along with her 2 students, Dr. Anjum and Dr. Muthulakshmi, have contributed a solid case which forms a part of case 1, chapter 1 and chapter 6. So Dr. Lata, kindly come and please accept our gratitude for the case. Rupal has done an extraordinary job. As you saw, the Rubik's Cube, which she has put up, which is on the left side. But we were fortunate in taking her case, which is an extraordinary case of APIS, in chapter 2. It anchors chapter 2. So, Rupal, kindly accept our gratitude for the solid case that you have presented. All of us are very, very comfortable when we present cases with success. Not very many of us are happy when we present cases which have not done well. Bhavik Parekh has the extraordinary distinction of presenting a case which has not done well and which he has reviewed and which has done well under review. These two cases that he has formulated become a foundation for chapter 5. So Dr. Bhavik, kindly come. And finally, Dr. Tamanna, the book cover is only a part of what she has done, though it is an external part which is so very visible, but she has been at the background in trying to dictate to all of us how we should function and what we should do and when we should do. Dr. Tamanna. And we missed Mr. Milind Vaze, who has produced this book. He was busy in a society meeting. But a very large part, I think that for the past 2-3 weeks, he may have shut down his business and he would have only been looking into this because we had to meet the deadline today. So Milind Vaze and his composer, Deepak Harne, they are also, we are indebted to for the speed with which they have worked. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kumar sir, and thank you, contributors. Sometimes we say the time tests us. And why I'm saying this, because today is a very big day for Pinakin Trivedi sir, because really he has been tested in terms of time. It was a conflict to come here. And today he is celebrating his mother's birthday. So he chose over to the education. So I think from all of us, we wish his mother a long and healthy life for years together. May I now request, before we start with, we request our chief guest to speak. We want to announce something. What we have witnessed is a release of much awaited book written by the two greatest masters. And since morning we have been talking about a legacy. Legacy continues, and legacy of writing also continues. Every year, the students of MLDMHI, and faculty publish college magazine, Pulse, a dhadkan which binds all of us together. We request our esteemed chief guest, Pinakin Trivedi sir, to click a button and release this college yearly magazine, Pulse. Back. So finally, we will be waiting for our chief guest, our source of insight, motivation, and encouragement. So we'll request Pinakin sir to share a few words.
On the occasion of release of book Advancing Frontier, Part 2 of Principle and Practice of Homeopathy, authored by Dr. Kumar Dhavale sir and inspired by late Dr. ML sir. All the legends who are the part of family of this Guru Kul Parampara. I think everybody sitting on the dais and sitting off the dais are having a inbuilt capacity which was developed by Kulguru MLD sir, and they have also spreaded that Guru Parampara and become teachers of the teachers. With respect, I shall take name of Honorable Dr. Kumar Dhavale sir, Dr. Kishore Mehta sir, Dr. Praful Barwalia sir. I think everybody deserved to be named from this stage. So everybody has their own aura and developed the legacy of MLD sir and spreading the education of homeopathy to not in this Maharashtra or Bombay, but spreading to Gujarat and every state of India and maybe outside the India. Actually, I shall, in person, I am feeling proud. I feel I am honored to be invited here for such a occasion of the release of book. Sir, Mehta sir is told that he was number 27th in 81. I have completed my graduation in 85. I was also number 27, sir. I came to institute at Parek Street. I have tried to perceive. I spent few days here in the institute, but because of some ill health, which was because of the weather of Bombay, I could not continue. Otherwise, by hook or crook, Kishore Mehta sir has continued, and I have left. Then I went to Dr. R.K. Desai sir. He taught me homeopathy, prescribing. And I think the training of homeopathy through this institute, ICR, they are producing, I think, humanity, man, everything, every kind of a good practitioner with ethics and a man of society, creating a human from a homeopath. So they are creating excellent homeopath with human being. Similarly, I was inspired in 1986. I have also joined some institution which has such power of creating human being and rather nationalism. So my way was diverted to some extent. I became a teacher. And from 1987, I worked in different institutions, and actually, when I have been given a charge of chairman, I don't say that I should have the knowledge of homeopathy like you all people have, or knowledge of implementing homeopathy, because we have took help of every homeopath, especially during the tenure of working with the CCH and even in NCH. NCH is grace to have all expert, and I think more than 25 to 30% expert were from this school. Dr. Dhavale sir very actively participated in a core committee for creation of this curriculum. Dr. Bipin Jain sir, Dr. Anup Nigewkar ji, and many more. So, we are not technically sufficient enough without the help of every fraction of expertise homeopathic professionals. And actually I was briefed many information and I have collected about MLD sir. I wanted to speak it, but I think it was a formal speech. So, when I am representing National Commission for Homeopathy, something formal is also needed, but many things came from my heart, sir. I always respect this legacy of Dr. Dhavale sir, and also I am a clinician, but the patients where I am not succeeding or where I find that I am not sufficient enough to treat that patient, I am referring to Dr. Praful Barvalia sir, Dr. Manoj sir, and to the Institute of Dr. that Karjan College Hospital. So most of the time I am taking help of the people who actually worked in this institution, and really they are trained and they are practicing much more better than many more experienced practitioners. So still I am continuing my practice, being Monday to Friday in Delhi and Saturday, Sunday in Gujarat. But I shall say that this book will definitely going to be of much use for understanding of homeopathy philosophy in a most better way. Kul Guru to Gurukul, that is the actual happening thing which I have seen today here. That Kul Guru MLD sir have produced, I can say is a Rushi Tulya for homeopathy fraternity and especially for our country. So many homeopaths came to him, to this Kul Guru, and gradually these institutions becomes a Gurukul. So there are many more faculties developed through the inspiration of MLD sir. And the principle and practice of homeopathy part 1, which I have studied, part 2, advancing frontier, many things I have heard today and I knew today. I think whatever this book is containing shall be useful to every students of homeopathy at the postgraduate level. That is, that level I find appropriate for this book. And furthermore, the two institutions which are also with the backbone support of this ICR, undergraduate and postgraduate institutions are operated, run by this support of this institute, ICR, and both have credibility in the producing a good homeopath in India. So I can take few examples. I know Dr. Saunil, a very good practitioner in Rajkot. Earlier Gujarat was having little less homeopathy practitioners. The homeopaths are coming for homeopathic education to practice allopathy, not to practice homeopathy. But now the trend is changing in this western part of the country, Maharashtra, Gujarat. I think the ratio from 10% is rising to 30-40% for practicing of homeopathy. I'm experiencing much of difficulties while looking from top to our community. There are many challenges for homeopaths in coming days. As homeopathy is accepted more and more by the society, the challenges are also increasing more and more. We are receiving many grievances against the system of medicine, against the practitioner of homeopathy, against the good practitioner of homeopathy or good practice of homeopathy. And also from those who are nurturing homeopathy, all the institutions. So we have NCH this time has tried to establish such a standard that can be compared with Indian system of medicine and modern system of medicine. And according to new education policy, while the country is looking toward the integration of all system of medicine, the responsibility of homeopathic institution in the way of teaching is also needs to be streamlined. So the standard which were established in the curriculum are according to new education policy, and I see many of the reflection while discussing with Dr. Hitesh, while discussing with Dr. Bipin Jain, that many of the things which is explained under the new education policy are similar to the thoughts of MLD sir. And I have pointed out certain things also, that what this legacy has thought for the education. And this, both the books has a concept, few of the points which can be compared with the points of new education policy and this our new curriculum are philosophy of integration and case-based teaching that has been implemented since 2 years by National Commission for Homeopathy. Student-centric approach for the study and participative learning. There is an integration of teaching of materia medica, organon repertory with the pathology, materia medica, organon repertory with the physiology, with the anatomy. So, all the integration and participation learning is there, it is included, which was an essence of thoughts of late Shri MLD sir, which I perceived during the discussion. And another points, holistic and multidisciplinary quality education, conceptual understanding rather rote memorization, skill development. Palghar institution was inspected for the primary permission of post-graduation. I came there and I have seen at that time peripheral dispensaries and everything when I was in CCH, and started post-graduation course at that time. So students, PG students are sent to community for the medical services that produces selflessness, and with the integration of modern and homeopathic science together. So application of skill, development of skill, workplace-based learning on patient, on the workplace, in the OPD, there should be maximum learning. So the number of patients required in homeopathic colleges are increased. The arguments are there from the stakeholders that this false case preparation will be increased like that. But I was happy to know that Palghar College has 300 plus OPD, which has crossed the mark of requirement. Another point which can be compared with the thoughts of MLD sir, creativity and critical thinking, flexibility in curriculum and assessment, technology integration. Today I was hearing on the panel discussion, Dr. Kapse sir put stress over the technology involvement, and also the use of AI. The legend of software is also here in Bombay, Dr. Jawahar Shah. So these all the things are incorporated in education also. So technology integration, research innovation, teachers education. There is continuous process of educating the teachers about the technology, about the CBDC, and about the new education policies are going on. There is one thought which actually in the commission we are going to put something that a continuous process of training for the teachers related to our new curriculum may be taken over, some permanent center may be established, and one more thing. We also have opened the probability to introduce such publications to be a part of curriculum as a textbook or as a national book. As a reference book, as a textbook for UG and PG students. And in last meeting only, I was not knowing that I am going to come here, sir. But fortunately, in last meeting, we decided a policy for that also. And we have declared, Dr. Hitesh was there in the meeting, and we have decided the policy how we can induct such kind of publications into academic use. So I think I am very small to speak about this legend, sir, but I am honored. Thank you very much for calling me here and hearing me peacefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pinakin Trivedi, for a very inspiring speech. I would like to call upon Dr. Manoj Patel to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Pinakin Bhai. Generally, Pinakin Bhai is of very few words. Most of the time, जब भी उनको बुलाते हैं, बोलते हैं सबको सब ठीक है, thank you. This time he has really given in depth his idea and incorporating in his new vision. This book itself deserves a big round of applause from all of us, sir. The book of psychology is also of that level, which needs to be incorporated, and I am sure that this process, we are with you in your leadership. Thank you very much, sir. Pinakin Bhai nickname is Mota Bhai, and I know why people now say Mota Bhai him. So thank you very much, sir. I am also thankful to all people who have backed under the leadership of Dr. Kumar Dhavale, sir, and created this book for which we are here. Kumar sir, जटा जटा ही शंकरा, वो गाना है ना, जटा जटा ही शंकरा, सब कुछ सब MLD के कंसेप्ट नॉलेज को थ्रू ICR की जटा से उन्होंने डिसेंड किया. So thank you very much for this book and the whole contributing team and all people on the dais who have contributed. So I'm not going to name everyone, panelists who have participated, but there are behind curtain people today. I would definitely like to tell name of few people who have worked really tirelessly. The whole stage committee with Dr. Shama, Dr. Akshita, Dr. Sonam. Lovely stage committee. Beautiful. And our media team, Dr. Omkar, brilliant, with all the digital and every work which you have done. बहुत सारा बैकग्राउंड वर्क होता है तभी कोई एक प्रोग्राम सक्सेसफुल टाइम में खत्म होता है. सो सबसे पहले प्रशांत एंड गायत्री, राइट हैंड, बिकॉज कोई भी कार्यक्रम टाइम पे शुरू होना होम्योपैथी में और टाइम पे खत्म होना, हम 1 बजे खत्म कर रहे हैं. सो दिस इज बिग राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज टू बोथ ऑफ यू. I know there is a lot of hard work goes on for creating things so that things are in time. We are also having team which has worked with hall management, Dr. Sunita, Dr. Bhavik, Rajesh and the team. Creative marketing under Dr. Tamanna. Rubik work by Dr. Rupal. And Malad team, Kamlesh sir, Sudhakar. कभी भी आपने पालघर से कुछ भी कमी हुआ है, Malad is always backing. Dr. Devangini for Now you will see what great arrangement she has done for food. Sab kha ke jana. Bhook lagi hai. Devangini has taken a lot of pain to see that the food quality is great. Decoration team and other people. And big round of applause to me also for coordinating all this thing, which I know it is big challenge, but now expertise. I don't know whether I will be the same enthusiasm for my children's marriage. So thank you very much for all of you. Because of you, because you took pain to come in this advanced world of technology, where घर बैठे चाय पीते पीते किसी से झगड़ा करते करते बीच में फोन उठाते उठाते ये प्रोग्राम देख सकते थे शायद. But I said, why you are important here? I learned that from autistic children. Connectedness, value of being connectedness, value of being touched, value of being hugging each other, value of social connectivity within each other is so very important that sometimes I'm scared that this availability on YouTube and webinar and other thing, we are going to miss this beautiful transfer of our heart. So with big round of applause to yourself that you took time and came here and make this program very successful. Thank you very much to everyone. कुछ बाकी रह गया. सुजाता, उसके बिना दिन शुरू नहीं होता है, उसके बिना दिन खत्म नहीं होना चाहिए. And the team who sang with her always, एक प्रोग्राम में तो हुआ सुजाता नहीं आएगी तो मैं नहीं चालू करूंगा प्रोग्राम. So that is what Sujata is all about, and the team who came and sang here beautifully. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yeah.
So we need Sujata madam on stage. And then the real success of the book and congratulations are coming up very well on social media. To name few, Dr. Anil Khurana sir, Dr. Tarkeshwar Jain sir, Dr. Rajendra Vahi, and so many others are congratulating the entire team. So thank you very much for everyone, and we'll rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
May I just request all contributors and who have worked, please come on the stage for photo. Everyone, those who have contributed for the function and contributors of the book, please come. Come fast. Everyone.
Till people are assembling, I have a small announcement for AI which we talked about. Dr. Jawar Shah has given this with you and chair, and please go through that, please scan it. I have personally scanned it in Gujarat kiosk. This is really very interesting for homeopath. Please attend to this.
Everyone is requested to go for lunch. The contributors can come on the stage for a photograph.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Prabhu sir का certificate
गया भाई. So nice to have you. आप आ जाओ.
हम लोग भी हैं, contributors of book है. अच्छा आप हो ना?
सब लोग आ जाओ.
सबको आना है, मतलब हम मुझे भी आना है.
सचिन आप इसमें थे ना.
सचिन सर आएंगे क्या इतने लोग? नहीं आएंगे. बीच में बैठना चाहिए. कौन ले रहा है फोटो? अरे आ जाओ ना, आ जाओ. क्या ही है, आ जाओ. ये तो सब लोग हैं, आ जाओ. फोटो में आए.